So today I'm going to show you how I turned this into this. It's a crisp and cold winter day, I tell you. So the plan today is to hopefully try and break the surface of that soil. I'm hoping it's just this crust, and then I can dig it all out. There's 2 trees I want to dig out today, and then hopefully I got some kind of structure because I want to bring the fruit trees up while they're dormant on the grapevine plot and bring them up to here. That's the plan. First, a hot drink, coffee. I have to admit, I'm pretty happy with that. Like, there are a few boulders here and stuff, but they'll be perfect to go around the pond area if I get around to putting one here somewhere. But this soil is absolutely beautiful, black. So I know the surrounding plot holders said that this plot a few years ago was dumped with a load of rotted manure and it was just left. So that, I think that's the result of it. And it's pretty cold here today, but I'm going on, I'm ploughing through it, and it's easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought a lot of it would be brambles that had bedded down, but luckily I can scrape a lot of it away and it's mostly dead wood. There are a few trees and bushes that have been left, so they'll need to be dug out because they're just not, I just don't know where they are. I'm now going to dig out those dead trees that have been cut down to about 2 foot. There's 2 of them, and there's also like some brambles or roses, so I'll have a look at them, see where they are. If they are rubbish, then I'll get rid of them. But progress has been made already. I tell you what, that wasn't easy, but it's out. The one tree is out, and I was dreading that one. The root system was ridiculous. So with my mighty full strength, I cut the 2 off with an axe, and then I was yanking at it, and I was not giving up until it came out. And the root system is ridiculous, but I managed to get it out, and I'll probably be sore tomorrow. So this one seems to be a blackcurrant, and this one seems to be a gooseberry. And oh, let's have a look, the label's still on there. So yeah, this one's called, so it's gooseberry, Hinomaki rod. So it's a heavy cropper. It's fantastic that the label's still there, and they only paid $5.99 for it. You won't get a gooseberry plant for that now. But it seems to be okay. I'll give it a quick prune back, and hopefully this one can go back in. Be a shame otherwise. The remainders were all brambles, and there were quite a few that were going into the polytunnel, so I've got all of those out now, and there seems to be a hole there as well. So I think that was a mouse or a rat, because there was a few under the barrel here, little tunnels. But it's coming along. So this bed was put to sleep, and I just covered it with cardboard, put some things on top to weight it down, and as you can see, the frost is about today, and that'll do fantastic work on the garlic. The onions, they're looking a little bit sad today, and yeah, but this is looking great. The garlic is looking lovely in this plot. I'm really happy with it. Right, kettle's just boiled. I really deserve that. I tell you what, that was well earned today. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop down to the grapevine plot, dig up the bushes while they're dormant. You don't want to be digging and transplanting when they're active. They're all dormant for winter. I've got a window now that I can do it. At least that's another job that's ticked off. So I need to plan this area now, because I think I'm going to put it in rows. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a few rows coming down here, and then bark the paths as well either side, so I've got good access to it. I know I've got 2 Jostaberries down there off Tony O Neill at Simplified Gardening, and I also got a pile of raspberries, but I think I'm going to leave those down there, maybe find an area for them, because all of these ones up here, let me show you. All of these thankfully are autumn fruiting raspberries, and I was so glad of that they've all died back, because you don't know when you take over a plot which ones they are. Now both are fine, but these are easier to manage. So if you've got summer fruiting, you need to climb in between all of these and find which one's a new growth for this year and which one's a dead growth for last year. But the good thing about autumn fruit and raspberries is you can chop them all back to the ground when they die off, and then new shoots will come then through the spring and summer, and then you will have them at the end of summer, autumn. Obviously autumn fruit and raspberries, they have come earlier than that though, but at least you know, chopping it all back nice and clean, you haven't got to be rummaging back and forth, you know, looking which ones are dead and which ones isn't all through the season. So I'm going to chop them all back today as well. I also know I've got some black currants, red currants and white currants down there, and that'd be fantastic to know that I've got all in one space and it's all fruiting and I can just net it all over in one go. At some point I'm hoping to get a fruit cage as well, so I need to make sure that when I plan it all out, that I can then drop the fruit cage over the top when I need to. So there is a bit of planning involved. Right, let's get it done. What you don't want is to be taking bindweed up to your plot. So if you are taking fruit bushes off other people, make sure this nasty stuff is removed. And I'll go through this meticulously before I take it up there. Because the last thing I want is bindweed up there. It comes through from next door. Nothing I can do about it, but I don't want it up there. So all the fruit bushes have been dug out now, and I've meticulously gone through all the roots to make sure there's no bindweed or any other perennial weeds that could affect the other growing area. And I've also labelled them all up so I know which ones are which, and then when I get up there then I'll give them a prune back. So the only thing left down this area now is some raspberries, and I'm tempted to dig them up, but I'll do that another day. Some of them are, like I mentioned, summer fruiting, because you can see some of the new growth on some of the plants. They're not as, you know, they're not dead like this. So there's a bit of life in them. I just remembered I've got one more gooseberry plant down the bottom. That's a red fruiting gooseberry, and it's absolutely sweet as hell. It's my favourite one to put in jams. It's in a pot and it's never done too good. I can't fit it in here, but I'll have to pop back down and get that as well, because that'll be it then. I don't think there's any more. There is. So I know I've got one over on the back of there, that can stay there. And I've also got some down here next to the raspberries. So I think these will be dug out as well. There is a blackcurrant behind there. It's never caused any issue, so I'll leave it there for now. But we'll see how much space I got up there. I've also got this sage to take up at some point as well to do a herb garden, and also my beloved bee. It seems to be getting battered by the frost. So it's in a pot, so I think I'll put it in the greenhouse. So all the trees and all the bushes and all the brambles and all the thorns and everything else that was on this ground has been cleared away. I have meticulously gone through it and checked. Now I'm gonna plant out all the fruit bushes now. I'm gonna stage them where I need them. so I can see the spacing and how many I need, because I might need a few more. And I've got a few spares down the other plot that I could bring up, but that should be enough. But I'm going to place them all now, giving a good spacing so I can walk around and prune them. And obviously they'll bush out in the spring and summer. Right, let's get this done. And then I can think about doing something else in the next couple of weeks, because this job will be ticked off. So I've got 2 gooseberries, one red and one green, and they should be really at the back because they're the spiky ones, and I don't want those near the path. So I think I'll put those at the back first. So all the bushes are in now, and I'm so happy. It looks fantastic. It looks absolutely amazing. Let me show you. So there's 11 bushes in here now. 2 Jostaberry, 3 blackcurrants in the middle, 2 other blackcurrants, an unknown variety, a red currant, a white currant, and then 2 gooseberries at the back. And I've left enough room for them to bush out, and also for me to walk around and prune and do what I need to do at the back of the fence and things. And I've also got this extra space down here to play with now. I've added this in because this was originally here, but I like it at the moment. I'm gonna keep it and see how we get on with it. It's just got a bit of a border going on, and I might even plant some flowers down the side here as well. But yeah, right, let's put some bark down. 18 bags of bark later, and it's finally done, and I love it. I finished the stonework going across to give it a bit of a border, and at least the fruit area is done now. I'm so happy with it. They're all in, they're all mulched. Another job done. Next job. So on further inspection, it turned out that these were summer fruit and raspberries. So I've pruned out all the dead wood, and as you can see, I left this one to show you. This one's completely dead, and there's no spikes on it. That's one telltale sign. These ones were the spikes, they're next year's growth. So I thought my next job would be to put the 3 compost bays in. These were given to me by Primrose. I'll put a link in the description, and I'll show you one so they're all set up. So I figured if I put them at the front of the plot, and then it'll get as much heat and sunlight, and that'll help it start off as well. And plus anything that I've got at the back of the plot now, I can then transplant down and pop in here, and I can start on. I'll add it to some greens and brown layers, you know, in time. Right, let's get it done. Heavy, innit? Don't ever believe that there's no digging involved with no dig at the start. So I'm putting the weed membrane down because it's so close to the raspberry canes. I don't want runners coming across through the spring and summer and shooting up through the compost bays, because that'll be a nightmare, because I'd have to dismantle them and put them back up, and I don't want to do that. So the weed membrane go underneath, and hopefully that'll suppress any runners coming up this year. So the idea with these is that you can slot them inside each other, and also you can move them whenever you want. And that's the idea I like here, is that if I change my mind and I need to move them, I can. Right, let's try and find some instructions. Yeah. Lovely. Thank you. Now I have to admit that these were so easy to build, and if you're less able or you don't want to overcomplicate your compost area, these are perfect. Once you put that square base down, they slot over on top of each other and they're perfect. The front you can slide off to unload or to put things in, and you can move them around whenever you want. So if I change my mind, I can move them. I will admit that I do like this idea. How long they'll last, who knows, but they'll fit the purpose here and they look better than a normal standard compost heap. I would have preferred them a little bit taller, I must admit, so I might buy one more pack and, you know, bring them up a little bit. But yeah, overall I'm happy. It's freezing. So the overall design is pretty simple. It's just stacked wood, but these are perfect because you can pull these out to get the compost and then put them back in. And they're really, really clever how they've done it. They're so simple. I love them. Absolutely love them. So Mark's just popped over with a mulberry bush, which I'll plant into the fruit garden in the next couple of days. But the sun's going down now, and my next job will be to move all that compost that's at the back of the plot into these bays. I'm Danny, and this is the Gravevine Garden.